simplified and veganized and cheapified. Cheapified, yes. Hi guys, it's Rose and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan and another video. So today's video, I'm gonna be making some copycat recipes from a grocery store I've actually never been to. Yes, okay? Because this grocery store is all the way in LA, okay? And if you have never heard of EREWHON, this is some sort of extremely expensive, bougie AF grocery store that can only exist in a city like LA, of course. EREWHON is kind of infamous for being extremely overpriced and very stereotypically LA. It's like a health food store and everything's like organic and $1 million. They do have a few vegan items on their menu. So they sell groceries, but they also have like food that you can buy there. And they have a few vegan items on the menu and I was like, I should just make that. Now I can't compare because I've never actually been to EREWHON. So you're gonna have to just take everything with a grain of salt. Okay, organic salt. Yes. The first copycat recipe is going to be the Eggless breakfast sandwich, okay? Now this is, let's see how much it is, $14. 14 US dollars, my friends. That is criminal. That would be like almost $20 Canadian right now, so it is vegan. EREWHON's Eggless breakfast sandwich delivers a vegan feast starting with a lightly toasted organic English muffin. The sandwich is layered with turmeric curry tofu, offering a spicy, earthy flavor profile, and tempeh bacon for a smoky touch. EREWHON, you couldn't afford a person to write this? You had to use ChatGPT? A handful of fresh organic spinach adds a crisp finish. Let's go, let's get started. So today we're gonna make it for a lot cheaper than $14. Kill me now and set me on fire, because what is $14? So I have a block of tofu. This is extra firm. I did press it because the tofu I buy is just not firm enough, okay? So you do wanna use extra firm tofu. The tofu in the breakfast sandwich does look pretty big, so I think I can probably make 4 patties with this, 1 block of tofu. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice it in half like so. Like that. So we're gonna create a pretty thick, might be a bit too thick, I don't know. I mean, it could probably make more because it's a little thick. And then we're gonna cut that in half. So we've got 4 patties, but really you could probably do maybe 6 patties. I have regrets. Can I do 6 patties? You know what? I'm gonna do 6 patties because this is like, yeah, okay. That makes more sense. So some of them is gonna be a bit thicker. It's up to you, okay? But I think I'm gonna do 6, okay? I was gonna do 4, change my mind. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. A lot of their recipes, a lot of their ingredients are organic, and I am not gonna do that because I don't really care if we're using like organic spices, okay? Does anyone care? Because I don't. If you're a millionaire and you want to use organic, go right ahead. I'm gonna use regular schmegular spices. So I have here some turmeric, paprika. You can also use smoked paprika or like chili flakes or chili powder. I do not have that. Paprika and curry powder. So turmeric, paprika, curry powder. I'm gonna just mix this together. Actually, I'm gonna need to also add some salt and pepper. So, by the way, the recipes will be in a blog post linked below, so check the blog post out, you guys. All the ingredients and measurements will be listed. The measurements that I used, okay? Anyway, so we got this like kind of spice mix. I'm gonna just kind of coat each piece with the spice mix. I'll put this on a plate. I don't know if I have enough actually, because I was planning on doing only 4, but now I'm doing more, so actually I might need more. Big fat one here. Okay, so it should easily stick and just kind of rub it in, okay? Just rub in that deliciousness, that flavor. Let me know, guys, have you been to EREWHON? I have never been, but I do want to go as like a cultural experience. I feel like it would be a very fun, you know, like see the rich people in the wild sort of experience, you know? All right, so now that we have our tofu nicely rubbed, we have here a pan that's already preheated. It's actually quite hot. I'm gonna add some oil and we're just gonna cook the tofu. Yeah, I definitely need more oil. You have to remember, this is the first time I'm making this too, so I had to guesstimate everything in terms of like the ingredients. If you go on the EREWHON website, it does have the list of ingredients, but it doesn't have the measurements, so I kind of had to like, you know, guesstimate, you know? So we're just gonna cook this up for a few minutes on each side and just get it nice and crisp and just delicious looking. Yes. In the meantime, I am actually going to prepare the tempeh. Tempeh bacon is included in this eggless sandwich. So I'm using tempeh bacon. I'm just using store-bought tempeh bacon. Feel free to make your own, okay? Go wild. I am using store-bought because I can't be bothered. So I'm just gonna heat up another pan, or we can just wait for this, or you can throw your tempeh bacon in the air fryer or something. Do whatever you gotta do. All right, I'm just gonna add a little oil on this other pan and cook up the tempeh bacon. I could make 6 breakfast sandwiches with this, so let's see here. Yeah, this would be perfect. This one package is probably perfect for about 6 sandwiches. I'm actually really hungry, so I can't wait to eat this. Once the tofu is cooked for a few minutes on each side, you're gonna just remove the tofu. Okay, remove the tofu. And then on the same pan, we're gonna cook up some spinach. Have some baby spinach. It looks like the spinach is slightly lightly cooked. Unfortunately, we know how spinach is. It's gonna turn into absolutely nothing in a few minutes. Because I'm making 6 sandwiches, I'm gonna have to add quite a bit in that. I have this olive oil spray. There you go, just do that. Then we're just gonna lightly cook the spinach. It should cook very quickly because, you know, it's spinach. We just wanna get it to wilt. I'm also gonna lightly add salt and pepper. So I'm just gonna cook it until it just really starts to wilt. I think that looks pretty good. I'm just gonna take it off the heat now. Of course, I've got my English muffins, and no, they are not organic. This is the cheap one that I got from Safeway, but I am using whole wheat, so there you go. You can either just air fry these to lightly toast them, or you can also toast them. But because I already have this lovely pan that's heated, I'm just gonna place a couple on the pan. And I think these would be great for meal prepping, okay? Because I think they would freeze relatively well. Oh, I better flip these tempeh bacon bits. So we're just gonna lightly toast this, okay? Now it is time to assemble. Now it does not say that this includes vegan mayo, but I feel like it needs vegan mayo, you know? I feel like otherwise it might be a bit dry. I'm sure that EREWHON has maybe their own like $5 million version of vegan mayo. I'm just gonna use my usual Hellmann's. This is not sponsored, but I love that vegan mayo. Okay, so we're just gonna lightly put some mayo, then the lovely tofu, and then some tempeh. I mean, the world's your oyster. You can add as much tempeh as you'd like. There we go. And then we're gonna add this lovely spinach. Okay. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Look at that. There you go. There is the EREWHON Copycat Vegan Eggless Sandwich. Okay, so we're gonna have to try this, obviously. Let's just have a little look at the sandwich. There you go. Oof, that looks pretty good. Okay, time to try. I'd probably eat this with ketchup. After I cook up the tofu, I'd probably want to add in some black salt or kala namak to give it more of that eggy taste. But otherwise, it's very delicious. And the tempeh bacon is definitely a must. It adds like tons of flavor, smokiness, saltiness. It's really good. And I do really enjoy having the baby spinach as well. It adds like an extra kind of freshness. I swear, tofu is the best egg replacement. It's so good. Tastes like you're biting into an egg, for sure. I'm sure also with some hot sauce it'd be really good. Actually, let's try with some sriracha. So good. I haven't had lunch yet, so The next recipe we are going to copycat from EREWHON is going to be their tofu sticks, or what they call organic Asian tofu sticks. Funny name. I already actually started the process of this, which is basically cutting up the tofu into these sort of thick, big sticks. So first I pressed my extra firm tofu in my tofu press. Now you can skip this step if you actually have good extra firm tofu, but mine is just not very extra firm for extra firm tofu. Anyways, then we're gonna cut the tofu up into those sticks. Then in a container, we can add our marinade of soy sauce, rice vinegar, agave nectar or maple syrup. We also have garlic powder, chili flakes, paprika, mustard powder, and water. And we're just gonna mix that up. And then we are going to just marinate these bad boys. And now we can move on. They've been marinating in this lovely sauce for about 30 minutes. I would marinate these, I mean, obviously for as long as possible. You could do this like the night before or for at least 20 to 30 minutes. We're just gonna basically shallow fry or just pan fry. You could also bake this. I was gonna bake it, but then I got lazy. Let's just shallow fry, okay? So add some oil, a neutral oil, like a vegetable oil, onto a pan. Make sure it's nice and hot. And then we're just gonna add these tofu pieces that have been marinating. Oof! Be careful! Whoop. There we go. Ooh! I like to usually, like when I cook tofu, I just like to flip it often. You're supposed to be patient, but I have no patience. So, you hear that, guys? Now, while your tofu is cooking, you can cut up some green onions if you want to add that to the tofu. So I just cut up 2 things of green onions into these sort of diagonal thin slices. You can cut them up however way you want. I would say cook it for at least maybe like 2 minutes per side, but I just keep flipping it over until it starts to really nicely like caramelize and get slightly browned on each side. So this is kind of like what we're looking for, like maybe a slight char along the edges. And then at the end, I'm just gonna turn the heat down to like basically none or very low. And then I'm just gonna pour this marinade on top and just let that sort of sink into the tofu. If you wanted it to be a little bit more sticky, you could put some cornstarch into that marinade. So the leftover marinade, just add maybe like half a tablespoon of cornstarch to like really thicken up the marinade so it becomes like more of like a sticky sauce, which I might actually do because it's not really thickening up the way I would like to. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna take the tofu pieces out. Here's me improvising here. Whenever you wanna kind of thicken up a liquid into more of like a saucy sort of thing, you wanna add a little cornstarch. We're not gonna need a lot of cornstarch. So I'm probably gonna do just like 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. So I have this here. Now, if you add this directly in here, it's gonna get all clumpy and weird, probably, I don't know. So instead, I'm gonna add a little bit of water into the cornstarch. So I'm just gonna mix this up, and this is what we call a starch slurry. While this is on heat, if you add this, it's gonna start to thicken up quite quickly. So I'm just gonna turn up the heat a little bit. We're just gonna stir it, and you're gonna see it thickening up quite a bit. Like that. As you can see, it's already thickening up. Now that's gonna be like our sauce, right? Look at that. Look how much thicker it is. Now keep in mind, I've never tried these actual ones from EREWHON, so I don't know like how they are. But either way, I think this will be delicious regardless of whether or not they taste like the EREWHON ones. And then I'm just gonna kind of coat it. Just kind of moving things around a little bit in here. Ooh, look at that. Woo! So it's basically ready. I'm just gonna plate it and then finish it off, okay? I'm just gonna taste this as one piece because I have to take photos. But look at that, it's cute. There's this one piece of the EREWHON Copycat tofu sticks, the organic Asian tofu sticks, except for this is not organic, okay? It's not organic. Just see here. Oh, that is delicious. That's actually so good. If you don't like the taste of tofu though, it does taste like tofu. I love the taste of tofu, so I don't mind. But if you are a little bit new to tofu, what I would do is I would actually make smaller pieces. Maybe cut this into small cubes or thinner pieces so that it's not as thick. Then more marinade can be penetrated into the tofu. There's more marinade per piece of tofu, so it won't taste as tofu-y. I think it's absolutely delicious. This would be so good with like some rice. Nice and salty. There's a slight tang in there. It's nice and chewy. So good. That is bomb. All right, everybody. So the next EREWHON copycat recipe we will be trying is going to be the vegan Caesar salad. Yes, okay. Looks like there's some tempeh, looks like there's some kale, some romaine lettuce, some chickpeas. It looks delicious, so let's try to make it ourselves. Let me see how much this be. $18.80 prepackaged. $18.80 for a Caesar salad at a grocery store. Instead, we're gonna make it at home because in this economy, we are not paying almost $20 for a salad at a grocery store. Anyways, so I'm gonna be making my air fried, oil-free, crispy chickpeas recipe. I'll link that recipe below. We're gonna make it, okay? It's very, very easy and very simple. This is probably my most made recipe. I'm just gonna add some paprika. And honestly, I usually just kind of eyeball everything, so that's what I'm gonna do. But if you want the measurements and stuff, it'll be in that blog. We're gonna do some garlic powder, some salt, and some pepper. And no, you don't need oil. If you want, you can add oil, but you don't need it. And then we're just gonna mix this up, get it nicely coated. Ah! I knew I was gonna mess up that one. So I'm just gonna quickly put these in the air fryer. While this is in the air fryer, we can make the other stuff. So for the base of this kale salad, we are using romaine lettuce and kale. Okay, so I'm just going to wash the lettuce and kale, and then I'm gonna chop up into small pieces. I'm also gonna take the stem out of the kale. You know the drill, okay? You know the drill. Now, again, I'm not using organic because I'm not made of money. I don't know. What do you guys think of this organic conversation? Now we're gonna make some vegan Parmesan. Now it looks like EREWHON has their special Parmesan concoction, okay? So it looks like they do a raw Parmesan, organic sunflower seeds, organic almond, nutritional yeast, organic white pepper, organic mustard powder, organic cayenne. Oh, like literally, does your mustard powder have to be organic? Like, come on now. So we're gonna make a non-organic vegan Parmesan. So I already have 2 vegan Parmesan recipes on my blog. So I've got the cashew Parmesan and the hemp Parmesan. So you can make either of those, but I'm gonna do the sunflower seed Parmesan. I actually don't have almonds right now, so I'm just gonna do sunflower seeds, but I think you could also mix and match different seeds. It doesn't really matter. I've made Parmesan with all kinds of stuff. So today we're gonna do the sunflower seeds. So into a dry food processor or a blender, we're gonna add in our sunflower seeds. Now, how much am I making? You could do a mixture of sunflower seeds and almond. You could do cashew, you could do hemp, do whatever you want. And then we're gonna do some nutritional yeast, salt, pipa. Normally I also do garlic powder, but looks like they like to add in mustard powder. So we're gonna add in some mustard powder. Also some chili powder, paprika, or cayenne. We got the concoction here, and let's make our little Parmesan. That was pretty easy. So now we got this lovely sunflower seed Parmesan. Let me just give it a little taste. Not bad. Definitely tastes a bit like sunflower seeds. I think hemp and cashew are a little better, but who knows how this will taste with the whole thing. That's ready. I definitely don't think I'll need this entire thing for the recipe, but at least now you have some vegan Parmesan that you can put onto anything. I love me a good vegan Parmesan. Next, we gotta make a dressing, right? Because what is a Caesar salad without a Caesar dressing? I actually have a much easier vegan Caesar dressing recipe, which uses like vegan mayo and just like doesn't use a blender and it's just like very lazy. I'll link that recipe below. It looks like EREWHON uses the cashew-based Caesar dressing. So let's try making a cashew-based Caesar dressing. We're gonna start with some water. Actually, no. Actually, just gonna use the same blender as I just used. I didn't even rinse it out because there's no point. I'm going to go in with some soaked cashews. Now, I've already soaked these. I've actually boiled them. So if you don't have time or if you are not organized like me and you forget to soak your cashews, don't worry. Just boil them for about 20 minutes to soften them and they'll be easier to blend. They've already been softened. So I'm gonna add this into the blender. And along with that, we're also adding some olive oil, lemon juice, a clove of garlic. I did cut it up into smaller pieces. some cloves, Dijon mustard, and EREWHON uses vegan Worcestershire sauce. I'm just gonna go in with soy sauce. You can also do liquid aminos, coconut aminos. You could also just use vegan Worcestershire sauce, but I didn't want to buy vegan Worcestershire sauce just for this, so I'm just gonna go in with soy sauce. And then we're also gonna add some water. And then let's blend this up until it's nice and smooth. Let's have a look. Let's see here. It's yummy. Honestly, I don't know if it's much better than the sauce I usually make, but it's delicious. Nice and tangy. The capers add that nice flavor. It's creamy. All right, I actually did this off camera, but I also prepared some tempeh bacon. I just threw this in the air fryer along with the chickpeas that I was roasting. This is the same tempeh bacon I used for the breakfast sandwich recipe. I'm just gonna cut these up into small pieces. And now we can finally put it all together. Oh, you can see here I've got the washed kale and romaine. So into this, we're gonna add our lovely tempeh bacon, the crispy chickpeas. I think I'm just gonna use about half of the chickpeas. And then of course, the lovely dressing. I don't know how much to add. I don't know if I need the whole thing. Let's see. And then let's mix it together. Parmesan, the vegan Parmesan. I'm just gonna add a sprinkle. I don't think we need the whole thing at all. There is the vegan Caesar salad. There you go. There is the vegan Caesar salad. It looks pretty good. I think we need to try it. Okay, I'm gonna get a good bite. I'm gonna get a little bit of the kale, a little bit of the romaine, a tempeh piece, some chickpeas. Let's give this a go. That is flavorful. I mean, you could add a little more dressing, but the saltiness level is there. It's super nice and savory. It has like almost an umami sort of salty flavor. Slightly tangy, nice and fresh. I love the addition of the tempeh bacon and the crispy chickpeas. It adds a lot. Now again, if you want to make this simpler, you could use my easier, no blender necessary Caesar salad dressing, which I actually think tastes a little better than this, not gonna lie. This one's a little bit healthier though, because we're using like cashews. I'm down. I just saved you $18.50 USD. Oh, guys, this is a tough video. There's lots of recipes and it is taking me forever. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Okay, make sure you thumbs up if you are appreciating this content because it's a lot of work. And if you like the recipes, go to my blog post and give me a 5-star review on the recipes because those help me a lot. So the next EREWHON copycat recipe that I'm going to attempt to make is the very famous Hailey Bieber smoothie. Okay, so Hailey Bieber, the daughter of one of the Baldwins and the wife of the Canadian treasure, Justin Bieber, she has a smoothie. It's supposed to be like a smoothie that's great for the skin, and there's a bunch of skin ingredients, and it's like a very famous smoothie. Now this smoothie costs, are we ready for this? Okay, just on its own, 20-ounce smoothie, $20 American dollars. What are you thinking? Okay, what is this? Instead, we're gonna make it at home, and I'm actually gonna get rid of some of the ingredients that are, I feel like, you know, I don't know. I've never tried this smoothie, so who knows, but I just got rid of some like expensive ingredients that I think probably wouldn't add too much to any of the flavor or anything like that, or it's like hard to find. So I made like a more simplified version of the Hailey Bieber strawberry glazed skin smoothie. That is the official name. So first we're gonna make the strawberry glaze. I have this pan here. I'm actually gonna turn this down a little bit. We're gonna add some frozen or fresh chopped strawberries. So I'm just using frozen. We're gonna add that in there. Strawberries, and I'm gonna just turn this down. Okay, we don't want this burning. We don't want this burning. I am gonna actually add a little splash of water. Woohoo! I think I let this pan heat up too much. Along with that, we're gonna add some lemon juice. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And we're also gonna add some maple syrup. Let me know if you guys have tried this smoothie. I don't know if I can honestly spend the $20 to get it. I've never been to EREWHON, but I feel like if I do go to LA at some point soon, I do want to try EREWHON and just like buy a few things, cry a little bit of how much money I'm spending, but do like a taste test just for content. I feel like a lot of people just go there just to be like, oh, here's an EREWHON haul. I don't know how many people actually shop there, like actually shop there. I would like to know, like, do you know anybody that actually shops there? Cause like, how rich are they? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break this apart. I'm gonna try to just like break some of this apart with like a fork. I kind of want to mash this. Like, how do I mash it? Okay, you know what, I'm gonna mash, I'm just gonna mash. Okay, there we go. So we're just kind of mashing it. I think it would be easier if I cut the strawberry up into smaller pieces next time. There we go. I think that'll do the trick. I don't know. Yummy. Okay, we're gonna set this aside and then I think we can make the smoothie. I think. Maybe. Before we actually get into the smoothie portion, we have to make now the coconut cream that kind of like drizzles on the side of the smoothie, making it look all pretty, because that's the entire point of this smoothie, I feel like. To make the coconut cream is very simple. I have this coconut cream, which I bought from the store, and I actually don't really know the difference between this and just regular coconut milk. Tastes the same to me. I assume this is just a thicker version of coconut milk. So if you don't have coconut cream, you could probably just use coconut milk, just like maybe separate it. I'm gonna take some coconut cream, and then I'm just gonna lightly sweeten it. I'm just gonna use a little bit of vanilla syrup. They use like a vanilla stevia. I don't have that. This is the closest thing. I'm just gonna add a small amount and just maybe thin out that coconut cream. There we go. Look at that. All right. Ooh, I feel like it needs to be slightly thinner for, is it sweet though? Ooh, that's so good. I could just eat it like this, okay? Just coconut cream and a little sweetener. I'm just gonna add a little more sweetener then. It's all sugar-free anyway, so. Okay, so I've made the coconut cream that can be drizzled on the side of the jar, yes. Now we can make the actual smoothie. Oh God, got a nice lovely blender. Let's add our ingredients. So I'm going to add some almond milk, a banana. Now, preferably a frozen banana, but I don't have one, so hopefully this will be fine. And some avocado. I've got this questionable looking avocado here. I'm sure that EREWHON wouldn't approve, but you know what? It'll do the trick. So some avocado. And then they also use dates. So I pitted this date. So I'm adding that in here for a nice natural sweetness. And then, hold on. And then I've got some frozen strawberries. And the reason why I was like, you know what, it's probably fine if I don't use a frozen banana, is because we're using frozen strawberries. So we're gonna do some frozen strawberry. I'm just gonna blend this up into a lovely smoothie. Hopefully it'll become nice and smooth and delicious. And then we can put it together. Yay! And then we're almost done, finally. Yes, okay. I added a little more almond milk. I added a little bit more of the frozen strawberries, and I added another date. So the blog post will have the adjusted measurement. I'm gonna use a big mason jar like this one. So first I'm gonna take that coconut cream. No, wait, nope. We're gonna actually first take the strawberry glaze. I don't even know if we can call this a glaze, but we're gonna put that in the bottom of the cup. The strawberry glaze is delicious. Then I'm gonna take a spoon, take some of that coconut cream, and then I'm gonna do this and wish for the best, hope for the best. Just let it, okay, it's not, I'm trying here, Just trying to get some to drizzle on the side there. A little more drizzle, there we go. Okay, we're gonna give this a go. Now, the final product, the actual smoothie. Okay, let's pour this in. Hopefully the jar isn't too big. I mean, it looks pretty good though, I guess, I think. Don't waste any of it. First impressions. Okay, well, this is what it looks like. Presentation-wise, I don't think it's so bad. I think it looks relatively similar. Let me take a look here. I mean, hers looks a little bit more red, like the strawberries. There you go. That is the Hailey Bieber strawberry glaze skin smoothie. Simplified and veganized and cheapified. Cheapified, yes. All right, first I'm just gonna give this a good mix. Here we go. Then let's give it a try. Woo, hold on. That's pretty good. It's quite, again, I don't know how they make it. Okay, so I don't know if this tastes like the one that they make. It is good. I would recommend using a frozen banana if you do have one. It's kind of basic. It kind of tastes like a strawberry cream soda smoothie. Don't know how I feel about this one. It is good, but like, I don't know. It's kind of basic. It tastes almost very mild. Like I almost feel like I need to add a little, maybe I'll add a little bit of vanilla syrup. I feel like it's just like a little bit flavorless. Okay. Definitely better with the sweetener. It is good. It's yummy. It tastes like a very mild strawberry cream sort of smoothie. It is tasty. It is tasty. I hope the $20 one tastes a lot better than this one. I definitely will tweak the recipe a little bit to, I think, make it taste a little better. But yeah, it's not too bad. Okay. Saved you $20. All right, you guys, so that was me trying out some EREWHON recipes at home because we are not all made of money, okay? Learn to cook, okay? This is the lesson of today's video. Learn to cook at home, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed this. So all of the recipes, as I mentioned, will be on my blog. So check it out. Links are below. The ingredients and measurements and everything will be in the blog post. So if you do enjoy those recipes, make sure you give my blog post a 5-star review. Those help me a lot. And of course, give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!